I don't know if you can see that, but there's like 25 deer out here. Check this out. Look at them. They're all bucks too. Look at them all. Look. There's more. And more. And more. Okay, so wow, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, there's gotta be 25 or 30 deer here. Okay, so this is a deer food plot. Actually it's not. This is a field of soybeans, obviously, that for some reason every year the guy that farms this, I know him, he puts something out here and then the deer eat it. I can see that he's got it planted super ultra thick, probably 200 pounds to the acre, in an attempt to get ahead of the deer. And I saw him go up the road, I don't know, a week ago with the sprayer. So he was in here and sprayed this with his tractor and Miller Pro sprayer. I think it was, I can hear Timothy's working over there. I'm pretty sure that was him. Yeah, it was him. And just look, you can't see the tracks from the John Deere. You could just see the tracks from the deer. You even got coons and turkeys and stuff in here. That's wet ground. Oof. I'm gonna walk over here. There's an old abandoned house and barn in here, and I always wanted to go look at it. I've never been in it, and I'm not really trespassing. I know the people. The amazing thing is the way these deer have trimmed this. These aren't even knee high. I mean, look, here's my knee. And you can see every single, this is why I can't grow soybeans in New Jersey or in my area. I mean, look, this is what deer damage is. There's not one plant that isn't affected by deer. And then of course the freaking deer flies. Look at this. I mean, tell me, what are you going to grow here? What are you going to get out of this? And here, there's like a couple of pods. This is what they do to you. And even if you get up here, I'm going to walk over here. Even if you get here where it is over my knees, look, this is it. Deer damage. Just absolute disaster. There is nothing, there isn't one plant on this farm or in this field that hasn't been bitten off by a deer. So, and when you wonder why I'm down to hay, a hay crop, and it blows my mind that he even puts anything in here, to be quite honest with you, because what's the point? These fields, I mean, look at this. Look, that's fresh. They just did that. And this is a spot right here. That's unbelievable. This is absolute suicide when it comes to planting soybeans. And this ground could support a decent crop of soybeans and corn. As a matter of fact, that farm that I'm working on right across the fence row, that farm is awesome for soybeans. It was, man. When I was a kid, we grew soybeans there. It was great. But now there's just nothing. Nothing of any value. There's a deer. Look at him go. Get over there. Yeah. This is a losing proposition. If after this year is over with this field of soybeans, if he gets 5 bushels to the acre, which I could highly doubt that he's going to get 5 to 10 bushels to the acre. I'd say 5 to 10. This combine's pretty decent. That's just 10 bushels in the middle of the field, 3 bushels on the edge. I mean, this is not going to produce anything. There's just nothing there. That's why I quit growing soybeans, because of this. Now there's another field up front, and it looks pretty good. From what I could see, it's probably 25 to 30 bushels to the acre. when you take a 25 to 30 bushel to the acre field, and you got another field directly behind it that's only going to produce you 5 to 10, you know, what the hell, it's 15 bushels. 15, 18 bushels to the acre. And that's what I had the last year that I grew soybeans. No matter what I did, I could not fight the deer. So, yeah, that was the end of that. That was the end of that. So anyways, here's a bit of information for you. This is an old campsite. I think you may have saw it on the way in. It's a campsite where somebody was living here for an extended period of time. Their pillows are still here, the sleeping bag. Here's one sleeping bag, here's another sleeping bag. The tent and the tarp that the tent goes on, that bag was actually in a bag, so cooking, pots, things like that. So whoever was living back here, and they lived back here, this is not something that was known by too many people, I'm sure. The nearest house would be that abandoned house, which I would think that abandoned house would be more comfortable than living out here in the woods for an extended period of time. But I've had two friends in my life, and I've had more than two friends, but what I'm saying is I've had two friends that I know of in my lifetime that have actually lived outside in tents. They were homeless. Both of them now have families and homes and things like that, but it took a real shock. It took a real shock to get them to not be homeless. You know what I mean? Just their lives were so shitty that they were living in a homeless situation, a tent out in the middle of the woods. One was going from campground to campground until the owner of the campground realized that he was on a 3-week rotation. He had a job. He was not on drugs, which we all thought that he was, but he was not on drugs, but he was on a 3-week rotation. I mean, he would rotate from 3 different campgrounds during the course of the summer, and then when it got to be in fall, the owner of the campground said, "Hey, I know what you're doing. You're not new to this situation. Do you need help, or do you need help to get off of drugs or whatnot?" He's like, "No, I'm not on drugs." His mom and dad had been divorced years before. His father had married a woman that he did not get along with at all. She had a family coming into the household, and he was the oldest in the house, the oldest child in the house, and he just couldn't stand her. And to be quite honest with you, I couldn't stand her either. She was the type of person that laid with more men than, I don't know, maybe Jezebel from the Bible. But anyways, so he was working, saving money, because the campsite is like $10 a night. So he's spending $70 a week at these campsites, each one, and he's working a job. It was actually a cabinet maker. He was making cabinets and living in campsites. He had a car, of course, so he had to pay for gas and stuff. But he did. He ended up getting a woman pregnant. Go figure. They got married, and that got him kind of on track. And then, of course, they realized that lust isn't love, and they needed to part ways there. So they parted ways, and now he's happily married with I think he's got 2 more children. And he owns a home in Pennsylvania. And, what more could you want, I guess? But the other one, believe it or not, he's a greeter at Walmart. He has a house. He's a little mental. He was always a little mental, but he became more mental when he got hooked on methamphetamines. And of course now he's off the meth, and he's off of everything that he was on. But he's in a house that is a low-income home, but he does pay. He does pay for his place. also, but he's a greeter at Walmart, but he's not a greeter at Walmart in New Jersey. He's a greeter at Walmart in, I believe, Colorado. I don't talk to him. I just stalk him on Facebook from time to time. He was one of those guys that, you know, when you're hooked on some kind of drugs and stuff, you'll steal from your own mother. You'll steal from yourself, and that's what you're doing when you're hooked on those types of drugs. But he lived out in the woods in Kingwood, on multiple places. One, you know, because I'm a farmer, I kind of know where he was, because he actually was camped out at this one spot that was at the edge of my field, and he was there for, I'm going to say, the better part of 2 years, living in a tent for the better part of 2 years. Yeah, his grandparents raised him, and they got old and died, and the parents, his mother, sold the grandparents' house and left him out in the cold. She was also someone that had problems, major problems. But you know what? Hey, it's such his life, and I'm glad he's got it together enough that he can be the greeter at Walmart in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and I'm sure that's where he's at. But yeah, he must have enough money to pay for the cell phone, but he just kind of popped up on Facebook recently, and I was shocked because I thought he was dead. Anyways, yeah, I guess that's enough of me hammering on. But you know, an abandoned house and then a tent in the woods, wouldn't it be easier just to go clean up the house, a spot in the house, and live in there? It's shelter anyway. Throw some plywood over the windows, and then it would be blacked out. Nobody would even know you were in there, because the people that own that property, they don't go there. They just own it. But anyways, thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe.